Good morning, future officers. Welcome to EduTap and welcome to another important CT 360 series session in which we cover the most important GA and ESI current affairs from the exam point of view. So, my dear friends, today we will be covering the important current affairs from 8th to 10th of March 2025. And if I'm audible and visible to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with the today's session. Another important So, guys, this session is really going to be very useful and helpful for all the aspirants who are preparing for RBI, NABARD, SEBI और बैंकिंग एग्जामिनेशंस अगर आप और भी किसी एग्जामिनेशन की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं जहां पर करंट अफेयर्स इज रियली इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी कवर्ड तो ये सेशन आपके लिए काफी ज्यादा यूजफुल होने वाला है तो देयर इज अ स्मॉल रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू इफ आई एम ऑडिबल एंड विजिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू एक थम्स अप मुझे दे दीजिए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट विद द टुडेज सेशन. So, my dear friends, when I talk about today's session, today we will be covering the important current affairs from 8th to 10th of March 2025. ठीक है? So, current affairs की preparation काफी important है और अगर आपने अभी तक उसको start नहीं किया है, make sure that you are starting with your current affairs preparation today itself. ठीक है? So, my dear friends, I am getting the responses from various people in the chat box that yes, I am audible and visible, and I think it's a good time to start. But as I told you, that in the previous session कि जब आप next session में आएंगे तो make sure that you have revised all the important aspects of the previous session, right? So that we can have a small revision test of yours. So अभी हम सबसे पहले revise करेंगे कुछ important part को जो हमने पिछले session में cover किया. Then we will be moving on to the today's topics. So here are the topics that we will be covering in the today's session. But before that, there is a small revision of the previous session. So these are the questions that we are required to answer. So first question is on the India's first commercial semiconductor fab. You have to tell me the location where it will be established. ठीक है? For the establishment of this semiconductor fab, a MOU has been signed between India Semiconductor Mission, Tata Electronics Private Limited, and Tata Semiconductor Manufacturing Private Limited. So we all know that India is having the target of becoming a global manufacturing hub for the semiconductors. That's why under the similar line only, India is going to establish its first commercial semiconductor fab and where it will be located. Can anybody tell me in the chat box? See guys, that was the homework for all of you to revise and retain the information from the previous session. ठीक है अगर आपने नहीं किया है तो make sure कीजिए कि next session में आप इसको definitely करें. Coming to the right answer to this part, that is the धोलेरा. ठीक है तो धोलेरा के अंदर इसको सेटअप किया जाएगा इंडियाज फर्स्ट कमर्शियल सेमीकंडक्टर फैब. इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द इंडिया सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन, इट वाज लॉन्च इन ईयर 2021 में इसको लॉन्च किया गया था एंड विद द फाइनेंशियल एलोकेशन ऑफ रुपीज 76,000 करोड़ रुपीज. ठीक है एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द टेन्योर ऑफ द इंडिया सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन गाइस, इट वाज ऑफ 6 years. 6 years का टेन्योर के साथ इसको लॉन्च किया गया. 76,000 करोड़ रुपीज इज द टोटल financial allocation. 2021 is the year in which it was being launched. So we have covered the important dimensions of the scheme. Let's move on to the next question, that is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has recently under this AI mission has come up with an initiative which provides a repository of the data set. So guys, in order to boost the AI development in our nation, it is very important that we are having a different use cases and data sets. And to provide such kind of repository of the data sets, we will be having a particular initiative that has been launched. That is, जैसे हम बात करते हैं शब्दकोश की, जहां पर डिक्शनरी को हम शब्दकोश बोलते हैं, which is a repository of the words. सिमिलरली अगर हम बात करेंगे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के डिक्शनरी को, ऐसे कोश को क्या बोलेंगे? AI कोश. ठीक है So AI Kosh is the right answer to this part, which is an initiative of Minister of Electronics and Information Technology. Moving to the third question, that is on the new credit assessment model for MSME. So guys, as a part of this, the model is going to leverage digitally fetched and verifiable data. तो जो भी digitally fetched और verifiable data है, which is available to the banks, they will use that in order to devise the automated MSME loan appraisal for the MSMEs. So the MSMEs who want to take loan, so their data will be evaluated by the banks. So every public sector bank will be having its own such kind of data. And let me tell you, earlier they were dependent on the external assessments, but now they will be able to do this loan appraisal on their own. And this loan appraisal is going to be based on the scoring of dash of MSME. So यहाँ पर किस चीज को, what is that criteria which will be assessed for the loan appraisal for MSMEs? What will be their criteria? That is a digital footprint. तो digital footprint को वो assess करेगा. ठीक है, digital footprint is the right answer. Moving to the next question, that is International Women's Day. We all know we have recently celebrated International Women's Day, and the theme for the day was for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment. So, guys, please quickly tell me in the chat box on which date we celebrate the International Women's Day. I think ये क्वेश्चन काफी इजी क्वेश्चन है आप सभी के लिए आंसर करना. तो मुझे जल्दी से बताइए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर. सी इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी वेरी प्रोडक्टिव अगर आप एक कॉच पोटैटो की तरह से इस सेशन को देखेंगे. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू पार्टिसिपेट इन द सेशन. ठीक है. तो हमारे सेशन में डेफिनेटली व्हेन यू विल बी कमिंग मेक श्योर दैट यू आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन द सेशन. ओके. सो इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे सेलिब्रेटेड एवरी ईयर ऑन 8th ऑफ मार्च. 8th मार्च को हम सेलिब्रेट करते हैं इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे. ओके. Then comes to the next part, that is India's first World Peace Center. The first World Peace Center is going to be established by Ahimsa Vishwa Bharati. It is going to instill peace across the world. Where exactly this world first peace center will be created? India's first World Peace Center will be created in Gurugram, Haryana. Okay, so Gurugram, Haryana is the place where it will be established. So I please tell me in the chat box if you guys are very much clear with all these questions that we have discussed. Are you guys able to retain the important information from exam point of view? If you yes, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Yes, we are able to understand and cover these important articles. Okay, and make sure, my dear friends, in the next session when you will be covering, make sure that you are coming well prepared with the revision of the topics that we will be covering in the today's session. Okay, it is very important for all of you. So now let's move on to the today's news articles, and I really believe you are really excited for the today's session. So here is the very first topic, that is modified ethanol interest subvention scheme. So guys, modified ethanol interest subvention scheme has been recently notified by Department of Food and Public Distribution. So what is basically the aim of this particular scheme? That is to facilitate cooperative sugar mills by converting their existing sugarcane based feedstock ethanol plants into the multi feedstock plants by providing interest subvention. So my dear friends, let me tell you that we all know that we are having an ethanol blended program in which we are targeting 25% by 2025. Right? So, my dear friends, when we talk about this particular scheme, so we want that this ethanol production is not going to be stopped, right? Let me tell you that when we talk about a particular year, the crushing of the sugarcane is only available for 4 to 5 months, right? So that makes the cooperative sugar mills less financially viable when it comes to these production of the ethanol. So that's when the government wants that why are we just dependent on the sugarcane based feedstock? Why don't we are having the multi feedstock plants so that we can make sure that the production of the ethanol is basically going on throughout the whole year, and which is also going to make these cooperative sugar mills more financially viable. That's why Government of India decided that we will be providing you the financial support. You should make sure that you are converting your existing sugarcane based feedstock, जहां पर सिर्फ sugarcane based feedstock से ethanol क्रिएट किया जाता था. Now you will be able to use multi feedstock plants in order to produce ethanol. ठीक है. तो यहां पर हम क्या कर रहे हैं, अपने एग्जिस्टिंग शुगरकेन बेस्ड फीडस्टॉक इथेनॉल प्लांट को कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं मल्टी फीडस्टॉक प्लांट में, सो दैट हम डिफरेंट प्लांट्स का यहाँ इस्तेमाल कर सकें. एंड गवर्नमेंट विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग द फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट. हाउ? बाय द इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन. We will be discussing that in detail in the upcoming slides. So this is going to allow the usage of alternative grains. For example, maize and damaged food grains. ये damaged food grains कौन से हैं? These are those food grains which are not suitable for human consumption, जिसको humans consume नहीं कर सकते. These are the damaged food grains. ठीक है. तो ऐसे food grains को और साथ ही साथ maize को we will be able to use for the ethanol production with the help of this particular scheme. Okay, I hope this part is clear. Now guys, the interest subvention, what amount of interest subvention will be provided? So ये interest subvention क्या है? When government is going to pay loan on the behalf of the borrower. ठीक है. For example, let's take an example कि 12% का इंटरेस्ट रेट लगा है इस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर, जो लोन लिया है उस शुगर मिल ने, राइट, उस पर 12% का इंटरेस्ट रेट बैंक इज चार्जिंग देम. सो इसमें क्या करेगा, द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया विल बी पेइंग 6% पर एनम. जो 12% था, अब उस 12 में से 6% कंज्यूमर शुगर, जो हमारी शुगर मिल है, दैट विल बी पेइंग, एंड द रिमेनिंग 6% विल बी पेड बाय द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. सो दैट इज व्हाट दिस स्कीम इज ऑल अबाउट. ठीक है. या तो 6% पर एनम करेगा या फिर 50% ऑफ द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. ठीक है, जो भी आपका पार्ट लोअर रहेगा उसको बैंक या गवर्नमेंट पे करेगी टू द बैंक और द फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन. Now, when we talk about the loan term, the interest subvention, which is going to be provided by the government of India for loans with a 5 year tenure, तो उसका जो tenure है, should be 5 year, including a 1 year moratorium. Now, the objective of this particular scheme is to enhance the operational efficiency, guys. I already told you, we want to make these cooperative sugar mills financially viable, and that's why it is very important. Their operational efficiency is really high, right? So operational efficiency कैसे high हो रही है? By making sure that they are producing the ethanol throughout the whole year. They are not just dependent on the sugarcane feedstock, which was only available for 4 to 5 months. Now we will be using damaged food grains and maize, so that we are producing the ethanol throughout the whole year. Then the target is to ensure year-round operation that we have already discussed. So that is something we should remember from the exam point of view. ठीक है? So अगर हम बात करें स्कीम की, this is aligned with the government of India's ethanol blended with petrol program. Okay, so we all know its target is 20% ethanol blending with the petrol by 2025. Right? So earlier I told you 25%, that was a slip of tongue, so do not worry about it. So it targets 20% ethanol blending with the petrol by which year? 2025 that we want to achieve this. We all know that we are moving toward a sustainable world, right? So that's why we just want to reduce the dependency on the fossil fuels. That's why government of India come up with this initiative where we will be using the ethanol blended petrol instead of only petrol, so that we can promote cleaner energy resources in our nation. So this modification is going to address the need for increasing ethanol production. So guys, it is really very important. If we want to achieve this target, we are required to increase the production of the ethanol. And how this will be done? When throughout the year we are producing the ethanol, right? So that's how only we will be able to meet these blending targets. So this is all about this particular scheme. So guys, if we talk about what exactly the scheme is all about, under the scheme, 50% or 6% interest subvention will be provided by the government of India. Why the scheme has been launched? The scheme has been launched in order to make sure that there is a production of ethanol throughout the year. And how this will be done? By converting the existing sugarcane based feedstock into the multiple feedstock ethanol producing plants. If this scheme is clear to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Quickly, my dear friends, it is very important for me to ensure that yes, you are able to understand all these important articles. So अगर आपके लिए ये स्कीम क्लियर है तो मुझे एक थम्स अप दीजिए चैट बॉक्स के अंदर दैट यस दिस इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ अस. ओके, so thank you. Let's move on to the next news article. The next news article is on the Fishery Startup Conclave 2.0. ठीक है, अभी हमने बात की. अभी आप देख सकते हैं कि जो नाबार्ड एस्पिरेंट्स है गाइस, आपके लिए काफी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है ये सेशन. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी हमने इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग की बात की है. नाउ वी आर कमिंग अप विद द फिशरी स्टार्टअप कॉन्क्लेव 2.0. ठीक है, तो अभी फिशरी से रिलेटेड हम बात करेंगे. तो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फिशरीज ने रिसेंटली स्टार्टअप कॉन्क्लेव को यहाँ लॉन्च किया है, वेयर इट वाज बीन कंडक्टेड इन तेलंगाना. So whenever we see that there is such kind of conclave which has been launched, it is very important to cover where is the venue and what is the aim of coming up with this conclave. Okay, so the aim is to promote innovation in the fishery sector. So what we are doing is organizing the fishery startup conclave. तो startups का conclave था, तो startups को हम क्या बढ़ावा देना चाहते हैं, we want to promote. और startups को promote करने का मतलब है innovation को promote करना in the fishery sector. Okay, so during this conclave, a startup grant challenge was also been launched. And this challenge has been launched to support startups in manufacturing and the related areas. So guys, what is the reason behind coming up with this particular conclave and the challenge? So we are basically going to support these startups. And with supporting the startups, we will be fostering entrepreneurship, technological advancement, and sustainability. So, guys, it's really very important for us as lot of people, a lot of fisher farmers are there who are involved in this particular sector. So their livelihood is based on this particular sector. That's what is very important for us to make sure that we are boosting the innovation, technological advancement, and sustainability, so that we can really enlarge this particular sector in our nation. ठीक है, so how we are going to support these farmers by extending 1 करोड़ फंडिंग टू द 10 विनिंग स्टार्टअप। सो गैस ये जो चैलेंज है हमारा स्टार्टअप ग्रैंड चैलेंज 2.0, इसके अंदर जो हमारी 10 विनिंग स्टार्टअप्स होंगे उनको 1 करोड़ रुपीज की फंडिंग प्रोवाइड की जाएगी। ठीक है। और हर एक विनिंग प्रपोजल को एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड इंक्यूबेशन सपोर्ट भी प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा फ्रॉम द इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च। ठीक है। तो आईकर से एक इंक्यूबेशन सपोर्ट मिलेगा, सो यहाँ पर उनको मेंटरशिप मिलेगी, गाइडेंस मिलेगी, सो दैट दे कैन स्केल अप देयर वेंचर्स। ठीक है। एंड apart from the ICAR, the National Fisheries Development Board or other affiliated institutions will also be supporting these startups. Now, guys, let me tell you that during this particular startup conclave, along with the Startup Grand Challenge 2.0, a app was also being launched. And this app is NFDB mobile application. When we talk about NFDB, guys, it is a kind of platform which is providing the working identities to the fishers and fisher farmers, right? So उसका एक मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन भी लॉन्च किया गया है ड्यूरिंग द कॉन्क्लेव, सो दैट द पीपल who want to avail the benefits under the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, they can just enroll themselves on the platform and they can avail the benefits, as this platform helps the fishers and fish farmers to avail the benefits under the scheme. So this app is going to offer seamless interface for the users, particularly the startups, to navigate various modules and avail scheme benefits. So वो different modules को navigate कर सकते हैं और scheme के benefits को यहाँ पर avail कर सकते हैं with the help of this particular conclave. ठीक है। सॉरी, द विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन। तो मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन के यूज से क्या होगा, एक उन्हें सीमलेस इंटरफेस मिलेगा जहां पर वो इजीली खुद को एनरोल करके इन स्कीम का जो बेनिफिट है वो उठा सकते हैं। सो दिस मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन, बात करें, दिस इज द एनएफडीबी मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन। ठीक है। इसको डेवलप किया गया था अंडर द प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य समृद्धि सह योजना। वी ऑल नो दैट दिस इज द सब स्कीम ऑफ प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य योजना, राइट? So, my dear friends, this platform serves as a creating digital work identities, as I already told you, work identities for fishers, fish farmers, vendors, and processors, which is going to enable a seamless integration. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि एक इनफॉर्मल फाइनेंशियल और वेलफेयर सिस्टम का पार्ट इनको बनाया जाता है, सो दैट कि ये जो पीपल हैं इनको प्रॉपरली बेनिफिट्स प्रोवाइड किए जा सके ऑफ द डिफरेंट स्कीम्स लॉन्च बाय द गवर्नमेंट। ठीक है। So it will formalize the Indian fisheries and aquaculture sector through creation of a database। उनके प्रॉपर डेटाबेस बनाया जाएगा जिससे कि वो फॉर्मलाइज हो जाएंगे हमारे इंडियन फिशरीज। ठीक है। एक ऑफिशियल सिस्टम के अंदर दे विल बी बिकमिंग द पार्ट। Now it is going to simplify access to various government schemes and offers a user-friendly interface that we have already covered. Now let's move on to the other important details of this particular app. So this is going to transform the fisheries sector, as it will be enabling digital registration and providing access to the scheme। ठीक है। तो फाइनेंशियल एड, इंश्योरेंस सर्विस, ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स, साथ ही साथ एक्सेसिबिलिटी टू दिस स्कीम विल बी प्रोवाइडेड विद द हेल्प ऑफ एनएफडीबी मोबाइल ऐप। अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट। Now when we talk about the app, it is going to offer rupees 100 for the self registration। अगर खुद से रजिस्टर करता है पर्सन तो 100 रुपीज उनको वापस मिलेंगे, 76 रुपीज मिलेंगे फॉर द फ्रॉम द CSEs। So my dear friends, I believe that this much is very important. Now let's have some cross questioning। So if we talk about the grand challenge, right, the startup grand challenge which has been launched during the startup conclave 2.0, please quickly tell me in the chat box that what is the amount of funding that will be provided by in order to support द फिश एंड द फिशर फार्मर्स। तो इनके जो स्टार्टअप को सपोर्ट करने के लिए आप मुझे बताइए कितना फंडिंग प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा और कितने स्टार्टअप्स को प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा। सो वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड 10 स्टार्टअप्स विल बी सिलेक्टेड एंड व्हाट विल बी द अमाउंट ऑफ फंडिंग, द अमाउंट ऑफ फंडिंग विल बी 1 करोड़ रुपीज। ठीक है। एंड during this conclave an app was also been launched। what is the name of that app? The name of the app is NFDB mobile app। ठीक है। NFDB mobile app is the right answer। Absolutely right, Gururaj. You have given me the right answer. That is NFTV mobile app. So guys, that's how this is the part that we need to remember from exam point of view। I hope कि आप सभी को ये न्यूज आर्टिकल काफी क्लियर है। बढ़ेंगे अब हम अपने अगले न्यूज आर्टिकल की तरफ। So that is enabling women's participation in India's logistics sector। So my dear friends, we all know that we have just celebrated the International Women's Day on 8th of March, right? So you will see that a lot of initiatives are being always on the trot and they are in the news articles whenever there is an International Women's Day। And similarly, this year also you can see here that recently a study that is enabling women's participation in India's logistics sector has been recently launched by the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, तो डीपीआईआईटी ने इस स्टडी को लॉन्च किया है which basically tells us about the status of women in and their role in the India's logistics sector. When we talk about this study, it was prepared by DPIIT along with the GmbH, that is Deutsche, और थोड़ा अजीब सा नाम है माय डियर फ्रेंड्स। यहाँ पर ये एक इंडो जर्मन डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन प्रोजेक्ट है, इसके अंडर इसको लॉन्च किया गया है। तो आज जस्ट याद रखिए डीपीआईटी एंड द नेम जीएमबीएच, तो फुल फॉर्म याद रखिए, पूरा आपको याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है। डीपीआईटी ने जीएमबीएच के साथ मिलकर स्टडी को रिलीज किया है एंड दिस इज अंडर द क्लाइमेट फ्रेंडली ग्रीन फ्री ट्रांसपोर्ट इन इंडिया प्रोजेक्ट। तो ये इस प्रोजेक्ट का नाम है जिसके अंडर इसको लॉन्च किया गया है, ठीक है। So this basically enhances the women's participation in India's logistics sector. Guys, it is really very important to make India a Sashakt Bharat. To make India a Viksit Bharat, it is very important that we must make sure that we are capitalizing the role of women in our society and in the economic development of the nation, right? So that is why it is very important. We all know logistic is a very very important sector where we can work. So definitely वहां पर हम women's की participation को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं. And this study identifies supply side challenges, that what exactly is the reason why there are less women in the India's logistics sector. What can be the reason? The gender disparity can be the reason in the sector as well as in the education and skill training. So all these kind of challenges are being identified by this particular study. It also identifies the demand side barriers, which include workplace culture. Sometimes we are having toxic workplace culture, which basically do not encourages the participation of women in these particular sectors, and that is something we have to cater and we have to make sure that we are resolving it. Okay, so this was all about the study which enables women's participation in India's logistics sector to make India more Viksit Bharat by 2047. So I hope that this part is also clear. From here we are just required to remember the name of the body and what exactly this particular study brings us about. Okay, moving to the next news article, that is again on the 69th session of United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. So guys, again, I will be telling you that on 8th of March, we have celebrated International Women's Day, and this news article is also on the similar lines. So let me tell you that this particular session is going to be taking place in New York. That is the United Nations headquarter, and one of the Indian minister, that is Union Minister for Women and Child Development. So can you tell me in the chat box who is presently serving as the Minister of Women and Child Development? In the chat box, quickly tell me. This is a homework for you. So basically, you can see that this minister is going to participate and represent India in this particular session. Okay? So this session is going to review and focus on the implementation of the Beijing Declaration. My dear friends, you all know that we have covered the Beijing Declaration when we covered International Women's Day, right? So यहाँ पर we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of that declaration, and that is why we want to focus on the review, that how exactly we are now till now able to implement that particular declaration in our society, right? And we will analyze the global progress and the challenges, that what exactly we are facing in the achievement of gender equality in our society. So when we talk about this Commission on the Status of Women, guys, ये एक प्रिंसिपल ग्लोबल इंटरगवर्नमेंटल बॉडी है जो कि जेंडर इक्वालिटी को प्रमोट करने का काम करती है, जेंडर राइट्स, इक्वल ह्यूमन राइट्स को प्रमोट करने का काम करती है, एंड द एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ वुमेन। सो स्पेसिफिकली वुमेन से रिलेटेड जो भी इश्यूज यहाँ पर एग्जिस्ट करते हैं सोसाइटी के अंदर, उनको यहाँ एड्रेस करने के लिए ये पर्टिकुलर सोसाइटी काम करती है, ठीक है। सो इट इज अ फंक्शनल कमीशन ऑफ द यूएन इकोनॉमिक एंड सोशल काउंसिल, एंड दिस ईयर वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस दैट वी आर मार्किंग द 30th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ बीजिंग डिक्लेरेशन एंड द प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर एक्शन। और इसको हमने कब अडॉप्ट किया था? 1995 के अंदर हमने अडॉप्ट किया था ड्यूरिंग द वर्ल्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन वुमेन। तो 1995 में वर्ल्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन वुमेन वाज कंडक्टेड, 1995 में उसको अडॉप्ट किया गया था बीजिंग डिक्लेरेशन को। And 69th session, where it will be taking place, it will be taking place in United Nations headquarters in New York. That is the right part. Moving to the next news article, guys. The next news article, before that, I can see Shalini has given me the right answer. Well done, Shalini. Yes, Annapurna Devi is the person who is presently serving as the Union Minister of Women and Child Development. Well done. Now moving to the next news article, that is National Conference on Nari Shakti Se Viksit Bharat. So Prime President of India recently inaugurated this particular conference, the national conference, which was held on the theme of Nari Shakti Se Viksit Bharat. ठीक है, it was held in New Delhi and organized by Minister of Women and Child Development. So Minister of Women Child Development comes up with this particular national conference, that is Nari Shakti Se Viksit Bharat. Okay, that is the theme of this particular conference. So only that much part is required to be remembered. A very small news article. Let's move on to the next news article on the different lines. That is the Toy-Kathon. So my dear friends, for the fostering innovation in the toy sector, we all know that we are having a huge population, right? अगर हम बात करते हैं यूनिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया के अकॉर्डिंग तो 138 करोड़ के अराउंड आधार कार्ड हम इशू कर चुके हैं एंड दैट शोज दैट रियली द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन इज आल्सो देयर हु आर रियली फॉन्ड ऑफ टॉयज. सो यहाँ पर अगर हम अपने टॉय सेक्टर को बेटर करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट में भी फायदा होगा. दैट्स व्हाई गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कम्स अप विद द इनिशिएटिव दैट इज e-Toycathon. So e-Toycathon was being held in the month of November 2024 and now its winner has been announced. So let us first try to cover this e-Toycathon. ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट टाइम इंडिया के अंदर ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया था टू बूस्ट द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टॉय सेक्टर. जो हमारा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टॉय सेक्टर है तो हम यहाँ पर कुछ जनरल टॉयज की बात नहीं कर रहे. वी आर मूविंग टॉकिंग अबाउट द टॉयज विच आर बेसिकली इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इन नेचर. ठीक है. सो हम इस सेक्टर के अंदर इनोवेशन को फॉस्टर करना चाहते हैं. कैसे करेंगे? जो हमारे यंग रिसर्चर्स हैं, वी वांट टू सपोर्ट देम, वी वांट टू प्रोवाइड देम मेंटरशिप, वी वांट टू प्रोवाइड देम अ प्रॉपर प्लेटफॉर्म so that they can innovate and develop indigenous sustainable solutions to the various problems which are being faced in this particular toy sector. ठीक है. So whenever such kind of initiative is being announced, it is very important which organization is behind that. So CDEC is the organization under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology which has organized this particular toycathon in Noida. तो नोएडा के अंदर इसको ऑर्गेनाइज किया गया था and it was conducted under the development of electronics and IT based control and automation solution. तो ये एक वन ऑफ द मीटी फंडेड प्रोजेक्ट है जिसके अंदर ई टॉयकाथन 25 को लॉन्च किया गया था. पहली बार इंडिया के अंदर हुआ. सीडेक ने इसको ऑर्गेनाइज कराया एंड हु वाज द विनर? द विनर वाज श्री कृष्णा कॉलेज ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी जिसने जीता है इस कंपटीशन को फॉर द प्ले मैट टॉय. ठीक है. तो एक कॉम्बटूर बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, इंस्टीट्यूशन है, दैट इज श्री कृष्णा कॉलेज फॉर इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एंड it has won this particular toycathon for its playmat toy. तो विनर को हमने कवर कर लिया है. हमने कवर कर लिया इस न्यूज आर्टिकल को. ई टॉयकाथन पहली बार हुआ है इंडिया के अंदर. सो गाइस, व्हाई आई एम रिपीटिंग दिस इंफॉर्मेशन अगेन एंड अगेन? क्योंकि जितनी ज्यादा बार हम रिपीट करेंगे चीजों को उतना ज्यादा इट विल गेट एम्बेडेड इनटू योर ब्रेन एंड इट विल रिमेन इन योर मेमोरी फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. एंड आई विल बी टेलिंग यू about this whether you are able to retain it or not in the upcoming slides. Okay, now moving to the next important part, guys. We all know that we are really very proud as Indian team has won the ICC Champions Trophy. So Indian team has won the ICC Champions Trophy as it defeated New Zealand in the finals by 4 wickets. I really believe कि आप सभी ने मैच देखा होगा, right? So India has lifted its third Champions Trophy title, my dear friends. ये third Champions Trophy title था इंडिया का. इससे पहले 2002 के अंदर इंडिया ने ट्रॉफी शेयर की थी विद द श्रीलंका. After that, under the captaincy of MS Dhoni, India won the Champions Trophy in 2013. And now in 2025, that is after 11 or 12 years, we have seen that India has lifted its third Champions Trophy title. And India has won this trophy under the captainship of Rohit Sharma. And when we talk about the runner-up team, it was the New Zealand, and the captain of New Zealand was Michel Santana. Okay, and now when we talk about the player of the tournament, so player of the tournament is also required to be covered. So Rachin Ravindra of New Zealand was the player of the tournament for the ICC Champions Trophy. And my dear friends, when we talk about the host country of this particular event, so host country of this event was Pakistan. Now there is a question for you. Can anybody tell me who was the man of the match in the final of the ICC Champions Trophy 2025? Who was the man of the match? We all know that under the captaincy of Rohit Sharma, India won the third Champions Trophy title, and this was the third as India earlier won in 2002 and 2013. Who was the man of the match in the final? It was Rohit Sharma only, right? Rohit Sharma won the man of the match. Move to the next news article, that is Exercise Khanjar 12. So 12th edition of Exercise Khanjar has been recently commenced. And guys, this is an exercise which is being conducted between Kyrgyzstan and India. So अगर आपको यहाँ पर खंजर से याद ना रहे तो कि कौन सी कंट्री यहाँ पार्टिसिपेट करते तो याद रखिए के फॉर खंजर एंड के फॉर किर्गिस्तान. इस तरीके से रिमेंबर कर सकते हैं आप. ठीक है. So this exercise was being conducted in the Kyrgyzstan only, and again, guys, this basically strengthen the defense ties between the two countries. And if in there is a scenario where both the countries are required to fought together, so they can really made it very easy because of their higher operational capability, interoperational capabilities. And to induce that, only such kind of joint special forces exercise are being conducted by the nation. Okay? So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Now we will be moving towards the next exercise, that is tropics. So काफी easy exercise है tropics exercise. So Indian Navy इसको conduct करती है theater level operational exercise है इसका नाम, and basically this exercise started in January and now it has concluded in the month of March. तो यहाँ पर around 3 months की इसकी duration थी, January to March ये चली है exercise tropics, and it was set in the Indian Ocean इंक्लूडिंग अरेबियन सी एंड द बे ऑफ बंगाल। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है इंडियन नेवी एक्सरसाइज है, नाम है ट्रॉपिक्स। ट्रॉपिक्स की फुल फॉर्म याद रखिए, थिएटर लेवल ऑपरेशनल एक्सरसाइज है। ठीक है, सो दैट इज ऑल। Now moving to the next news article, that is another book which has been recently released, that is the Life and Contribution. So we all know International Women's Day was there. So now what we have done is we have released a book which basically gives a tribute to the women members of the Constituent Assembly who really helped for the formation of the Constitution, right? To the life and contributions of the women members of the Constituent Assembly. It is a book which has been recently released by the Legislative Department of Minister of Law and Justice. ठीक है, तो हमारी जो 15 डिस्टिंग्विश्ड वुमेन थी जिन्होंने एक काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले किया था इन ड्राफ्टिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, दे हैव बीन given tribute with the help of this particular book recently released by the Minister of Law and Justice. Okay, तो बुक का नाम याद रखिए, लाइफ एंड कंट्रीब्यूशन। सो काफी इजी है याद रखना। हम क्या कर रहे हैं कि जो कंट्रीब्यूशन था वुमेन मेंबर्स का कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली की इन क्रिएटिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ड्राफ्टिंग द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, बस उनके रोल को, उनके कंट्रीब्यूशन को हम यहाँ पर सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। Moving to the next news article, that is Udan Yatri Cafe. So guys, first Udan Yatri Cafe has been recently established in Ahmedabad. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट जो अहमदाबाद के अंदर है, वहां पर उड़ान यात्री कैफे को यहाँ लॉन्च किया है। बेसिकली व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज वी आर इंप्रूविंग द पैसेंजर्स फैसिलिटीज एट द एयरपोर्ट, राइट? वी ऑल नो दैट व्हेनेवर वी कम गो टू द एयरपोर्ट, देयर आर बेसिकली the food items which are available there, they are quite very costly, right? So people are not able to afford that particular food कि पहले तो फ्लाइट के एक्सपेंसेस को हम अफोर्ड करें, उसके बाद वहां का महंगा खाना अफोर्ड करें, so it really becomes difficult for people. So for such kind of people, Government of India come up with the Udan Yatri Cafe, which has come up now in Ahmedabad. ठीक है, it will going to provide affordable and high quality food options at the airport with the help of this particular cafe, which has been recently inaugurated. So, my dear friends, with this, we are done with the important news articles of the today's session, and now it's a time that we will be solving the questions. As I already told you, and as I always told you, that just covering the current affairs is not important. It is important to solve the MCQs as well. Now it's your time to showcase whether you are able to retain the information or not. And here is the very first question for all of you. The 12th edition of India Dash Joint Special Force Exercise has commenced recently. So it was set out in the Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea. So what is the name of this exercise? The name of the exercise is Khanjar. But you can see that the Khanjar is basically there, right? So guys, let me tell you that here option B पर आप यहाँ पर खंजर डाल दीजिए, right? एंड खलबली को हटाकर हम ऑप्शन बी में खंजर कर देते हैं। ऑप्शन बी किर्गिस्तान खंजर विल बी द राइट आंसर। ओके, सो किर्गिस्तान खंजर विल बी द राइट आंसर। Option B is the right answer. Yes, well done, Gururaj. You have given the right answer. Option B. Move to the next question. That is on e-Toycathon 2025, which you have to identify which of the following statements are correct here. So, my dear friends, e-Toycathon, I told you that this is an initiative launched to foster innovation in the electronic toy sector and to promote innovation in the electronic toy sector. Absolutely right. Winner कौन था इसका? Shri Krishna College of Engineering was the winner, which is absolutely right. Third statement, जो competition है उसे conduct किया है under the MITI funded project, development of electronics and IT based control and automation solution for consumer electronic toys industry. So my dear friends, अगर हम बात करते हैं इसको कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर लॉन्च किया गया था? दिस दैट वाज द प्रोजेक्ट। सो ऑप्शन डी, 1, 2 एंड 3, ऑल द स्टेटमेंट्स आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट हियर। ठीक है, सभी स्टेटमेंट्स यहाँ पर करेक्ट है रिगार्डिंग द ई टॉयकथॉन। सो आई होप कि आप सभी इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर सही से दे पाए हैं। सो गाइस, बेसिकली अगर आप दे पा रहे हैं तो दैट shows that yes, you are able to retain the information from exam point of view that we have already discussed in the today's session. So that is very important part, that हमें ये सभी चीजें रिटेन हो अच्छे से। ठीक है, बढ़ेंगे नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ। सो रिगार्डिंग द 69 सेशन ऑफ कमीशन ऑन द स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन, जो द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट। तो कौन से स्टेटमेंट्स यहाँ करेक्ट है? पहली स्टेटमेंट, इट इज गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन रिव्यू एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन of gender equality policies, highlighting global progress and challenges in achieving gender equality. So, is the statement correct here? Yes, the statement is absolutely right. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट, सीएसडब्ल्यू एक सब्सिडियरी बॉडी है यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल की, तो सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल की सब्सिडियरी बॉडी है। सो दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट पार्ट गाइस, इट इज नॉट द सब्सिडियरी ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल। थर्ड स्टेटमेंट जो ये 25 है, इट मार्क्स द 30th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ बीजिंग डिक्लेरेशन। तो यस, it marks the anniversary of Beijing Declaration and the platform for actions. Absolutely right. So, what will be the right answer? Option C, that is 1 and 3 will be the right answer. And guys, if I ask you that where exactly the 69th session will be taking place, so where it will be taking place? It will be taking place in New York. तो न्यूयॉर्क के अंदर इसको कंडक्ट किया जाएगा, विच इज ऑल्सो द हेडक्वार्टर ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशंस। ओके, सो वहां पर इसको कंडक्ट किया जाएगा, दैट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ वुमेन 69th सेशन। सो वी शुड रिमेंबर दीज डिटेल्स इन दिस मैनर। और यहाँ पर क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग भी काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है आप सभी के लिए, दैट्स आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू मोर एंड मोर क्वेश्चन सो दैट यू कैन आंसर द क्वेश्चन, यू कैन रिटेन द इंफॉर्मेशन। ओके, बढ़ेंगे अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ, दैट इज एनेबलिंग वुमेन्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन इंडिया लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर। दिस वाज द स्टडी व्हिच हैव बीन recently released. We need to identify the statements which are correct here. तो यहाँ पर again we will be focusing on the keywords. So it was released by DPIIT, absolutely right, under the GmbH project climate friendly green freight transport in India. Absolutely right. Statement 1 is absolutely correct here. Statement 2, तो study identifies only supply side challenges like gender disparity. तो supply side के साथ साथ demand side barriers को भी इसने identify किया है। So the study highlights both supply side challenges and demand side barriers such as workplace culture and infrastructure limitations. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि स्टेटमेंट नंबर 2 कह रही है कि सिर्फ सप्लाई साइड चैलेंजेस को यहाँ पर आइडेंटिफाई किया है, बट स्टेटमेंट 3 कह रही है कि सप्लाई साइड चैलेंज के साथ हमने बैरियर्स को भी यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया था। सो ऑप्शन स्टेटमेंट 3 is the right, statement 2 is incorrect. So right answer is again option C, that is 1 and 3. So option C, 1 and 3 is the right answer. I can see in the chat box that yes, Gururaj has given the right answer. Well done, Gururaj. So guys, आप सब भी यहाँ पर कोशिश कीजिए कि क्वेश्चन का आंसर कीजिए। ये सभी क्वेश्चन उन्हीं लाइंस पर हैं जो हमने कवर किया आज के सेशन के अंदर। इट विल बी वेरी ग्रेट अगर आप इनको आंसर करेंगे, एंड इट विल डेफिनेटली शो योर रिटेंशन लेवल्स। अगर आप खुद को टेस्ट नहीं करेंगे यहाँ पर कि मेरे क्वेश्चन सही है या गलत है, सो दिस सेशन इज गोइंग टू बी लेस प्रोडक्टिव फॉर यू। ओके, सो मेक श्योर कीजिए कि आप पार्टिसिपेट करें सेशन के अंदर, इसको और प्रोडक्टिव बनाएं अपने लिए। ओके, बढ़ते हैं अब अपने अगले क्वेश्चन की तरफ, दैट इज द फिशरी स्टार्टअप कॉन्क्लेव 2.0 एंड फिशरी स्टार्टअप ग्रैंड चैलेंज 2.0 वाज बीन organized and the launched, and you have to tell me the statements which are incorrect here. Okay, the first statement is it was organized by Minister of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying in Hyderabad, Telangana, to promote innovation in the fishery sector. First statement. Second statement, the Grand Challenge 2.0 ये फोकस करता है supporting startups in agriculture and farming technologies. जो farming technologies और agriculture है, तो उस पर startup Grand Challenge 2.0 is focusing on. So no, it is not focusing on that. It is going to focus on the startups by giving them the funding, right? और वो funding कितनी होगी? 1 crore funding होगी to the 10 winning startups, to the 10 selected startups. So here option D is the right answer. Only statement number 2 is incorrect one. Okay, we were required to identify the incorrect statement. Okay, so statement 2 is the correct incorrect one here. So option D will be the right answer. So, my dear friends, I hope this part is clear to all of you, right? So that was the last question from the today's session, and now it's the time for the homework question. See guys, अगर आप में से ही कोई ऐसा स्टूडेंट था जो इस सेशन के अंदर क्वेश्चंस को इजीली आंसर नहीं कर पाया, डो नॉट वरी, आप पूरे सेशन को रिवाइज कीजिए, उसके बाद इस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने की कोशिश कीजिए, दैट इज ऑन मॉडिफाइड इथेनॉल इंटरेस्ट subvention scheme which has been recently notified by the government of India. Try to identify correct statements here from the given स्टेटमेंट। तो यहाँ से करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट आइडेंटिफाई करने हैं आपको, राइट? एंड इफ यू विल बी गिविंग मी द राइट आंसर इन द चैट बॉक्स अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन, देन यू विल बी द स्टार परफॉर्मर ऑफ द टुडे सेशन, ओके? अगर हम बात करते हैं लास्ट सेशन के स्टार परफॉर्मर्स की, तो लास्ट सेशन में हमारा क्वेश्चन था ऑन द न्यू क्रेडिट असेसमेंट मॉडल फॉर एमएसएमई। सो काफी अच्छा क्वेश्चन था ये, एंड देयर द राइट आंसर वाज ऑप्शन सी, दैट इज ओनली 1 and 3 वर करेक्ट हियर। Okay, so option C was the right answer. That is only 1 and 3. So, my dear friends, and you can see here is a long list of the star performers from the previous session, which includes Lunatic, Jeet Singh, Aram Kumar, Happy, Gururaj. You can see Once Look at Me, Shruti, Nikhil, Varmanish, Vishwajit, Aditya. Then we have Sakshi, Arnav, Ashish. Then we have Ishant, Shanika, Dream Master, and Nikhil Rana. Absolutely right. Okay, so these are the people who are the star performers. If you also want your name to be present here in the next session, then please make sure for that you have to be the star performer, and you will become the star performer by giving me the right answer in the comment section to the homework question. Okay, so guys, that was all from the today's session. If you're still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And apart from that, if you want to access the PDF, just download the PDF from the Telegram channel, जिसका लिंक आपको मिलेगा डिस्क्रिप्शन के अंदर। तो टेलीग्राम चैनल का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिलेगा, वहां से टेलीग्राम चैनल से PDF को डाउनलोड कीजिए, रिवाइज कीजिए, and that is going to steer your current affairs preparation in the right direction. Okay. So, my dear friend, that was all from the today's session. If there is any queries, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. और इफ यू वांट एनी मेंटरशिप गाइडेंस गाइज, आप हमें यहाँ पर ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं hello@edutap.co.in पर, एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल अस एट 8146207241. द टीम विल बी अरेंजिंग अ कॉल एंड अ कॉन्वर्सेशन बिटवीन अस, सो डू नॉट वरी. Let's make sure that we are preparing for current affairs in the right direction, in the right manner, so that we can make sure in the exam we are going to clear successfully. Okay. So I hope that everything is clear to all of you and there are no more queries, guys. So I think it's a good time for us to conclude the session. It was really great to have all of you onboarded in this live session, and you have to make sure that every day you are going to make up, because I will be coming every day, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So, my dear friends, that was all for the today's session. We'll now meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.